It's time for Fourth and Fulford, the show dedicated to football both college and pro. From the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to the Florida Gators. And now from West Des Moines, Iowa, here is the animal.
We are the boys from old Florida, Florida, where the girls are the fairest, the boys are the squarest, of any old state down our way. Hey! We are all strong for Florida, down where the old Gators play. Go Gators! In all kinds of weather, we'll all stick together for Florida. Step straight from the swamp with the blue and the orange, got a century of swagger that has been strongly forged. From the pines to the palms, hear the roar of the crowd. The gators are chomping out swamp so loud. Yeah, the sun is blazing, but our rhythm is cold. We're the new generation, but saluting the old. When the gators get biting, you better stay away. Off of Florida. Through storms in the shine, yeah, we're holding the line. Got that championship spirit, it was built by design. Our team is the sharpest, the men bring the heat. And we never back down when we go compete. We got loyalty locked, we got pride in the name. Since 1906, running the game. We are strong, leaning mean, and we're here to stay. It's the Florida. We are the boys.
Oh, yes.
Florida, where the girls are the fairest, the boys are
We are the boys of old Florida. That is the name of the song. It's going to be our new intro here as we get ready for what's going to be an excellent, excellent season of football coming up. And it's football time again. And welcome to our brand new show known as Fourth and Fulford. It's a brand new title. Same stuff that we're going to talk about, but only with a different vibe, different feeling, coming at you with more aspects and hopefully more information down the pipe. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Gators are in the process of getting their season underway. They're about ready to finish practices, and I believe they have one more week of practices. They got another scrimmage coming up. I do know that, and then they have a game coming up this week. And then after that, it will be game week as they get ready for what's going to be a very interesting season. Rob Brown, SEC Sports Insight, he's going to join me here in a moment or two. Had some link-up issues a little bit earlier, so but he'll be joining me in just a few minutes. Let's see here. Just a minute. I gotta do something here real quick. My Instagram feature didn't go as well as planned. I don't know why. I gotta try and figure that out. Instagram is interesting. I can't figure that out. So if somebody can help me with that. But we're on YouTube tonight. Check out my feed on YouTube. And watch me there as well. My YouTube channel, by the way, for those that want to know, I'll get it for you in just a second. Let's see. Am I even on? I should be on. Let's see. There's at Animal6039. Come check me out for those that want to watch me on YouTube. Although I do not know why nothing's happening here. So I apologize. Let's see here. All right. So, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Yep. So, what's happening with my YouTube? I have no idea. But, I have no idea why my YouTube is not working. So I guess it's just going to be on Facebook tonight. Rob Brown, as I said, will be joining me in just a couple of minutes. As we said, the Florida Gators are getting ready for their season coming up 2 weeks from this Saturday. 2 weeks! I can't believe it. And, of course, there's already games that's going to be played. There's games that's already going to be played next week, okay? does not involve the Florida Gators, but involves some top-notch teams, and we may get into that a little bit later on. NCAA news came down this week. A court uh, decision was handed down about fifth-year eligibility, which affects a few people in the NFL, including Jack Pyburn. For more on that and all things related to college football, the man, the myth, and the legend, ladies and gentlemen. The only one in the SEC that used to have a lifespan of 30 seconds or less. But, as we always say, there's always improvement. A man that always shows improvement in one way or another. Rob Brown, SEC Inside Sports, covers, knows all, hears all, everything all. Joining me on this edition of Fourth and Fulford. That is my news show. How you doing, my friend? Sorry for the mess up on the link.
No, I'm good. I was out trying to take advantage of the late temperature drop. It got down to 97 to go.
No. Oh man, that's cool. Look, give me a jacket.
I mean, we're just here at Memphis. It is a brutally hot August, but still, look, the standard is 1980. We had 17 straight days in a row, consecutive, of over 100 degrees. So it isn't any hotter today than it was then. But I was listening to you talking about all the stuff happening with college football. And
let's start off with the latest decision that has come down, and that be come on, you gotta show it. You gotta show it. You gotta show it. Bucky's right there. There you go. Yes, sir. And we here in Des Moines, Iowa, we're trying to work on getting one right now. Just like the NCAA is trying to figure out how to handle these fifth-year seniors. I mean, court decision came down this week. Rob, tell us about what's happened, the decision, and how it's going to affect players right now in the NFL.
Well, it's a temporary restraining order, I think, by a judge in Louisiana, and it's involving Jack Pyburn, who, remember, transferred from the Gators over to LSU. And right now he's in camp with Tampa Bay. And I think he signed a contract for $115,000. He was not drafted. And now he's all saying, well, I should have pushed harder in college when I was at Florida, when I was at LSU. He suddenly wants to go back, and get more eligibility. This is beyond stupid. Beyond silly. It is such a reach, but all this crap started during the pandemic. The NCAA acquiesced and capitulated, got on their knees, and tried to just kiss ass to every student athlete in every sport because they felt sorry for them. That's the problem, and they've got to stop it. You cannot hug players up and make them better. You can't be their friends just because you've got young coaches on your staff. Let's look at the top teams in college football. Ryan Day at Ohio State. He's no Mr. Nice Guy. Dan Lanning, Oregon, no. Marcus Freeman, no. Kurt Signetti, no. Kirby Smart, no. Lane Kiffin, a narcissist. He's not a real nice guy. I remember that guy that quit the team and tried to come back and caused trouble a couple of years ago. He told him to get the beep out of his office. The nice guy coaches Mike McDaniel of the Dolphins. Remember a couple of years ago? That's the future of coaching. He's hip. He's cool. He plays Fortnite with his players. Get out of here. Is he coaching at Miami anymore? No. This crap going on. Ole Miss has some players, and there's some other ones. Thinking another judge came out today. You're 10 days away from the first games. Okay, Jack Pyburn, $115,000. I guarantee you, if that guy came back in and got in the portal and wanted to go to a school, he'd make more than $115,000 because he's pretty good. So I think right now it's what can we do about it? It's a temporary restraining order, but the judge that issued that ruling, and so the NCAA is going to punish Arian Carter at Tennessee for 2 games. He's suspended this year for the Vols in the first game against Furman and the second game at Georgia Tech. So he's still going to be punished for that. but you're going to let these guys come back to college. If they do that, all hell is going to break loose.
Well, and here's and you know, let's not forget about Trinidad Chambers.
Yeah.
I mean, in that whole situation too, saying that he needed another year, which I really thought that's how this whole thing got started. Okay, I mean, I think when the Trinidad Chambers is by the way, for those who don't know, he was the quarterback at Ole Miss. He thought that he was done, but he tried to come back for another year. I believe he won his court battle, right?
Yeah. He got a judge in Mississippi.
He got a judge in Mississippi to overturn it. There is going to be a court hearing later on in the year. Now, if this comes out about Jack Pyburn, and I'll be quite honest with you, I think it's stupid. I think once you sign a contract and receive money from the NFL, I think your college career is done. Honestly, I mean, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I do too. The problem with this is nobody is the NCAA is so feckless and so spineless and so gutless and so leaderless. They won't do anything about it. But they don't have antitrust laws on their side. They're going to have to. We need a commissioner, but to me, once you go. You know what the college and the NBA did? You could go get evaluated, okay, but you have to decide what in late May or June or whatever. Like, okay,
yeah,
I'm not going to the draft. These guys are already in training camps. You know, there was a tight end from, I'm not sure if it's Ole Miss. He's wanting to come back. I don't know if Ole Miss will take him. They've already got their depth chart. They've already installed their game plan. Where does the madness stop? You know what? You know, we hear about puppies and safe spaces. You know what the safe spaces are for college football fans? The confines of the football stadiums so we can play the games, and all this nonsense is put on the back burner.
It's crazy. I mean, I don't know where they think. I have no idea where they think they can come up with all these rules. You know, he's Bob Brown, SEC Inside Sport. What is the name of the show?
Sidelines.live. That's our domain. We cover the SEC heavy, but we cover we cover all over the country. I mean, look, we don't live in an echo chamber like you do. You know, you're Gators. I'm an Auburn grad. Hey, look, if I go to a buffet, I'm eating everything on the table. That's the way I look at it.
No doubt. I'm kind of distracted here for a minute, Rob, because I'm trying to.
I'll just add on. By the way, you're working. You know what? Jack Pyburn admitted he didn't push hard enough. Okay. Well, there's a lot of guys, you know, that are 25 and 30 that wish they could go back and play. They can't. Why do we? I know why we're doing it, because we have a lot of weak people as judges and weak people at the NCAA that won't say it's not happening. We're going to stop this, because you're basically making a mockery out of the whole student athlete, you know, story. Okay, now you've got to be enrolled as a student at whatever college that you're going to. You have to be taking classes. But what does that matter? What did Carson Beck say last year? A Jacksonville, Florida native who played at Georgia, but he said at Miami, he goes, I never went to class. I call it the Jefferson syndrome. That big guy that played high school football for Ridgemont in Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah. Right,
I thought he just flew in on the weekends. No, he was supposed to be a student there. This is
crazy.
Look, nobody in their right mind thinks that this is okay. And I wouldn't want a kid that went to the pros and came back. I just, you know what? It's like this. You know what we've learned? The guys that struggle with going back for staying or going after 3 years in college in football, the ones that struggle and then they come back, they don't usually perform that well. You know why? Because their agent says, go out and just be a minimalist, okay? Just do, and then we're going to come up with turf toe or some kind of bogus injury. That's what's, the way that these guys look at it, you have a good freshman year, a good few games early. Then your sophomore year, they just come up with something called the sophomore slump, which is BS. And then you come out and have 3 or 4 games your junior year, and you pull over to the side of the road and just take it easy. You tank it, okay? Look at Jaden Ott, running back from Cal, who signed with Oklahoma last year. What a waste of flesh. I mean, he's just complete bust. He embarrassed Oklahoma. I mean, that guy had a lot of talent, and they brought him in. They brought him in to play. He didn't play. Nobody's explained. Was he drafted? I don't even know if he was. I'm not sure if he was.
The name doesn't even ring a bell to me, so I don't know.
He was a big-time running back at Cal Berkeley.
Yeah,
he was on the roster at Oklahoma last year, and he just did not play. I think people have got to start saying the NCAA judges have got to stop this. Why is it suddenly okay? Did they just read the Constitution?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't know. It's like they think that the NCAA. And look, this is the reason why the SEC wants to leave the NCAA. It's bull crap like this is going on, which is fine. But what rules are you going to set in the SEC? How are you going to follow their rules? How are you going to follow the guidance? How are you going to keep the schools in check? Which for a conference, I think it'd be much easier to do than the whole scan and trying to cover over 300 teams. But still, the idea is good to leave. If you guys want to leave and form your own, league or whatever you want to call it, that's fine. But be careful of what you wish for, because this is something. Look, the idea is good, as I said, but look, there's a lot that goes into something like this. This is something that does not happen overnight, okay? And so for everybody thinking, let's let Florida and Georgia, Tennessee, all these SEC schools, let's let them form their own body. That's fine, but it's not going to happen for 5 years. It's not maybe going to happen for 10 years. So much work goes into something like that, But it is just crazy. I tell you what's also crazy. We're less than 2 weeks away from the start of the football season.
Yeah.
Where the hell has the time gone, Rob?
Well, we'll start next Thursday. There'll be games next Thursday night. So a few.
No, I haven't. I was just on the ESPN website. I don't see any Thursday games.
Well,
or is there?
Wait, August 29th. Yeah,
that's Saturday.
Yeah, that's a Saturday. I was looking at it.
I did too.
Memphis plays at UNLV. Dan Mullen is loving it out there. I heard a guy saying, Heath Klein on the Chuck Oliver show saying yesterday that, he's out there in Las Vegas. He's not even one of the 20 most recognizable people in that city. You're the head coach at Florida or Georgia. You can't go out to the dinner without being mobbed. Dan Mullen is having him. But he's got Jackson Arnold. Yeah. Jackson Arnold is his quarterback. And if anybody can fix a mess at quarterback, it's Dan. Dan Mullen, excellent coach. But we've seen Jackson Arnold with 2 different teams. He looks like a deer in floodlights. It's just bad. The guy can't, I don't know, he's got PTSD. Something is wrong with him. But, Hugh Freeze had, Peyton Thorne for 2 years, and then he had Jackson Arnold for a year, and all 3 of them were absolute just completely lost. So Dan Mullen, on the other hand, that guy can win with anybody he puts out there at quarterback. Dan Mullen is so underrated as a coach. And he won, 10 games last year at UNLV? That's going to be a hell of a game with them in Memphis a week from Saturday. But we're 16 days away from the start of all the SEC schools. Because
Oh yeah,
we know, the Gators will crank up against Florida Atlantic and the Fighting Campbells and then go to Auburn. I've got Florida winning that game at Auburn. I got Florida at 8-4, and I like what John Summerall's doing. I tell you, the most overrated coach right now is a new one, Will Stein at Kentucky. If they win,
three games,
I
don't know.
Yeah, 3-9, 4-8 at best.
Oh, at best, at best. When you have a new coach coming in, it's very hard to win in its first year.
Yeah,
but for Florida, it's a different mojo because Florida has a lot more talent than Kentucky. I'm sorry to say, folks, but that is so true that Kentucky has less talent than what Florida has than Florida. I can understand why they wanted to fire Mark Stoops, but I tend to wonder if they did it too soon. I don't know. I just feel like that they did not give him enough time there, Kentucky.
13 years.
Was it 13 years?
Yeah. And he had a period
never mind then.
Where they won 10 games twice in 4 years. But
oh wow.
When he got on the plane to go to the A&M job after the 24 season, he was a dead man walking when he came back to Kentucky. They were so desperate for continuity's sake, they took him back. But it's like the spouse running around on you. You bring them back. Well, if they've run on you once, they'll run on you twice. That's life. And Mark Stoops had burned up all his goodwill when he did that. And he is, I'm not sure if they won 70 games in 13 years. And he's the winningest coach in Kentucky football history. You know what? There are two Stoops. Bob Stoops is the winningest coach in Oklahoma history. So Mrs. Stoops and Mr. Stoops did a good job raising those kids. But Will Stein at Oregon, he is all about Will Stein. I'm not saying he's a narcissist like Lane Kiffin. And you got to start thinking about Lane Kiffin. What has he won? Couple of conference USA championships at Florida Atlantic.
Lane Kiffin, wow. It's like I know.
He's hell of a play caller, but he's not. I think as a play caller, he's top 5, but as a head coach, he's not.
Here's what I'm going to say about Lane. Okay, and we were watching the as everything went down and the whole thing, and Lane calling out to the coaches, anybody wants to come with me better hop on this plane or we'll leave you behind, and all that stuff that went down. 7 months later, Lane was meeting with Marty and McGee, the SEC media days, and had that interview, and Lane said to some extent, you know what, I handled that badly. It could have been done better, and I don't know. I think maybe, that he got a little reprieve from me by him saying that, but still, it was done is done. And now he has set a bad reputation for himself. If he hadn't set a bad reputation before, he's done it now with the way he left at Ole Miss.
I saw that interview with Marty and McGee, and he played Ryan McGee for a fool before he left. Remember, I've straightened out my life, and I'm reading the good book, and I'm doing all this stuff. Come on. If you got to tell me what a good person you are, you're probably not that great of a person.
No.
I'm wary of people that constantly tell me about what a good person they are. What are you trying to screw me out of? That's how I look at it. Okay, just show it in your actions. Lane Kiffin is a perfect example, textbook example of zebras don't change their stripes. They just change their watering holes. Okay? I don't dislike the guy, but you have to accept him on the surface for what he is. Hell of a play caller. But how does he do? He always loses a couple of games every year. But he took Ole Miss in 6 years. They won 55 games. That's the best 6-year run, certainly since Johnny Vaught finished up 53 years ago. But he is a guy, he puts himself in this position. But don't sleep on Pete Golding.
And that's exactly what my next point. That's my next point that I was going to. The hiring of Pete Golding. I mean, I saw his media day and all, and I liked the things that he was saying. But I look back at it and I say to myself, was he hired based on emotions? Or was he hired because they feel like he's the right man for the job? And when I say emotions, with the way that Lane Kiffin left, I think everybody was saying, we want Golden. We want him to take over the team. You know where I'm going with this? I mean, it's like, okay, this guy's great, we'll go ahead and hire you. But, Ole Miss, to me, Ole Miss did not do its proper research and finding the best guy for the job. But, I mean, I don't know. Maybe Pete Golding is. I have no idea.
All right. Think about when Rich Rodriguez left West Virginia. What did West Virginia do? They hired Bill Stewart. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was a safe, what you call a lazy hire. Okay. It started off good, and then it wasn't good in a hurry. Now, you look at Pete Golding. Remember, Lane Kiffin did not have to report to the president and the AD at Ole Miss. He reported to 2 people, and it wasn't the 2 that the aforementioned, the AD or the president. They have a loyalty foundation. They have a Grove Collective at Ole Miss run by, Walker Jones, and he worked for Under Armour for 15 years. Okay.
Oh, wow.
With Kevin Plank. He is, he's good, really good. But Pete Golding, I don't know if they would have hired him had they done a normal search, but they could not afford to do a normal, drawn out month and a half search at that time. And the players love Golding. He's the best recruiter on the staff. And flush this narrative down the toilet along with guys coming back after they've been in NFL training camps. He did not survive 5 years on Nick Saban's staff at Alabama because he's a crappy coach. I don't know why people keep saying, he was terrible at Alabama. Really? I don't think so. And then you look at Ole Miss, look at their defense since he got back. I was listening to Ben Garrett on the Ole Miss Spirit today. On Chuck Oliver's show. They've got 21 starters returning. All right? Over 7,000 snaps. Why are people sleeping on Ole Miss? I'll tell you why they are. Go back. Remember George Carlin's famous rant? It's all over social media about it's a club and we're not in it. You know when the last time Ole Miss won the SEC, Animal?
Oh, God.
Kennedy,
1970s? 60s? I don't know.
John F. Kennedy was in the White House. 1963.
I wouldn't remember. I was born in 63, so I wouldn't know.
So look, so think about this. If you look at Johnny Vaught's record at Ole Miss, 47-73. He left for a year and then he came back after Bruiser Kennard took over, coached one more year, and then he stepped out. And he just died a few years ago. He lived into his mid or late 90s. Johnny Vaught won 196 games as Ole Miss's coach. He won 6 SEC championships and 3 national championships. You put him up there right after Nick Saban and Coach Bryant. I mean, he's a hell of a coach. Ole Miss got 21 starters coming back. I've got them. I've been saying it since the spring. I have Ole Miss playing Georgia in Atlanta, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, for the SEC championship. Texas, as long as Steve Sarkisian's the coach, he's gonna underwhelm the talent that he has. They'll lose a couple of games this year, might lose 3. Look, detach yourself from how much money, and do that. Okay, think about that. Texas, since 1970, how many national championships has Texas won? In fact, let's lump all the schools in the state of Texas, A&M, SMU, and boy, SMU was paying top dollar back in the 80s, okay? You know about the Pony Express. Texas Tech, Texas State. Since 1970, with over 30 million people that we know of in the state of Texas, you know how many national titles that state has claimed? 1. Texas in 2005. And A&M, you know how many double-digit win seasons A&M's had in this century? And they've got great tradition, but they've only had 2. 2012 and last year. It's not about the money. It's about the culture and total alignment in college football, Joe. Urban Meyer, when Urban Meyer was at Florida, there was total alignment. President, AD, board of trustees, coach, players, fans. I mean, if he hadn't had health issues, Urban Meyer would have probably won 5 or 6 national titles. He's one of the greatest coaches I've ever seen.
Well, yeah, and the thing about Urban, by the way, he's Rob Brown. You're truly the animal of this edition of Half-Full and Cup of Joe. You've got questions, put them in the chat room, and we'd be more than happy to answer those questions. Urban, it's funny we talk about Urban because he was on a show with Hilltop Sports, who's a Gator media outlet, does a great job. And they had Urban Meyer on, and he said that one of the worst mistakes I ever made was leaving the University of Florida, because he says even to this day that ruined my reputation. And even though he got another national championship at Ohio State, that feeling that the Gator fans had of him being a traitor, leaving Florida Gators. They hate him. They couldn't stand him. Believe me, I was one of those. But
what were your thoughts when he left?
I was pissed.
Yeah.
Well, let me back it up. I wasn't pissed when he left because he said he had, quote, health issues. Now, maybe he did. But what was interesting is that when he came back, what I was pissed off about was him getting back into coaching and going to Ohio State. That's what really got me upset about it. Now, I would have, even though he went ahead and won a national championship and everything, it kind of got me. I don't know how I felt when I saw him back at the University of Florida. It was like, okay, great, he has a national championship, but look at the way he left. Maybe I'm old-fashioned. Maybe I still have that grudge I have against him. But by the same token, to see him come back, I think is a pretty cool thing,
He's going into the Ring of Honor.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Okay.
I forget which game. They announced it recently, which game, but I forget which one it's going to be.
Yeah. And look, you have to think, coaches come, coaches go. At the time when he left, his last year at Florida, 2010, was just like, what's happening? And then you had 4 years of Will Muschamp. You had old Yeller, as Franz Beard calls him, Jim McElwain. Then you had Dan Mullen, 18, 19, 20, and 21, who went to 3 straight Super Six, Big Six bowl games.
Yeah.
And you look at Auburn, fired Gus, which they needed to, but they hadn't had a winning season since he was forced out, and he made Auburn relevant. No, a school that did get rid of a coach who was winning a lot, okay, consistently, Georgia with Mark Richt. He won 53 games in 15 years. But Kirby came in and said, if you want to go big, and I mean really big, here's what I need. Because I'm working for the man at Alabama, Nick Saban. And if you're not willing to go big and go all in with my plan, hell, I'll just stay here in Tuscaloosa and win a national championship every other year. And they'll pay me all the money I can ever spend, $2-3 million, whatever I ask for. And that's what happened. You've got a lot of dumbasses that are in decision-making places, and they don't know how to hire coaches. They don't know how to evaluate people. You better know how to read the room when you're dealing with people. My deal is this. I like to do forensic audits. If I'm investing money with you, I want to know where every penny of that money is going. Okay? If you're not transparent with me, I'm done with you. Same thing like a coach. Coaches that aren't transparent. But you know what? In defense of Lane Kiffin, there's no easy way to leave a program. And I've left companies before to go from one to the other. Man, there's no easy way to do it. And it's never going to be easy. You know why they get mad? Because they loved you and they hate to see you leave. That's why. That's a good sign.
I don't know how, I don't know how he could handle that any differently except to say, I'm stepping down as head coach of Ole Miss, and 3 days later take the job at LSU. No matter, you're right. No matter how it's going to happen, I mean, people were still going to be pissed. Just like in a lot of ways, people are pissed at Mario Cristobal and Miami Hurricanes. That guy just signed a new 3-4 year contract, And I make fun of Miami. Okay, I make fun of Miami because I don't like him. I despise him, just like I despise the Florida State Seminoles. But the fact of the matter is, they're good.
Yeah.
I mean, Ruben Payne, the guy. I mean, it's like, what the hell,
Yeah. Joe, I'm gonna throw something at you. Arguably the best offensive line coach in college football right now. Alex Mirabal at Miami. He was at Oregon. He's like 5'2", and he gets
somebody was telling me that. I heard about this.
Yeah,
5'2".
Yeah, and you know what? I've got a picture of Alex.
He
Mirabal.
showed me it. Yeah. Show this from my friend Pat Hanlon.
That's Alex Mirabal on the sidelines.
Yeah,
See,
5'2".
And the guys are regarded by a lot of coaches that I talk to as the best offensive line coach in America. And you know what? Mario, in his 4 years at Alabama, was twice named National Recruiter of the Year. Even Jeremy Pruitt won that title at Alabama, and I think even at Florida State. Say what you want about Jeremy Pruitt. He and Brent Venables are the two best defensive coordinators in college football. Now, Venables is Oklahoma's head coach and DC. Did you know that Jeremy Pruitt, about a month ago, accepted a position as an analyst or something on Lane Kiffin's staff at LSU?
I heard about that. Go into more details on that.
Well, see, they worked together in Kiffin's 3 years, 14, 15, and 16 at Tuscaloosa.
Right.
Jeremy Pruitt is the best defensive coordinator in college football. Him and Venables are like 1A and 1B. Okay. But Jeremy's the best at adjusting in real time. We know that a lot of coaches come out and they have their first 12 or 16 plays. It's all scripted. So you have these drives where there's no delay of games. It's just click, click. Well, when you do that, you were just feeding information to your opponent. And you got to go like Jeremy Pruitt, whose brain is like one of these super data processing centers, XAI, that we have all over the country now, 4,500 of them. He'll eat you alive. Yeah, he got in trouble at Tennessee. I would be driven crazy. Philip Fulmer's office was 11 feet down the hall.
Phil
I mean,
Fulmer.
he could hear you. He could hear everything you did, every phone call.
Yeah.
He could never get over not being the head coach at Tennessee. And Jeremy Pruitt. Look, Jeremy Pruitt got in trouble at Georgia because he said, y'all aren't tough enough. In 14 and 15 when he was there, he said, y'all aren't tough enough. You're not man enough to win the SEC. Y'all are too soft. And I do remember Aaron Murray, Georgia quarterback out of Tampa, Plant City, David Pollock. They were furious when that happened. But guess what happened in December of 2015? A few weeks later, Georgia hired Kirby Smart. And he's the number 1 rated defensive coordinator in college football in the last 15 years. But I still don't think Kirby's as good at adjusting in real time. He would wait till halftime and talk to Nick Saban. Pretty good guy to talk to. Kirby's still a great coordinator. Glenn Schumann, Dan Lanning. Now you know Boom has gone to Texas. I just look. Call it like you see it. And you look at Georgia, you look at Kurt Signetti. How many 5 stars did Indiana have on the roster last year when they won the national championship and went 16-0?
One?
Zero.
Yeah.
They had 7 4 stars and 57 3 stars and not even rateds. Now,
And here's what's and to close out on that point, I mean to cut you off, but
No,
to close
not at
out
all.
on that point, Brent Venables, who we just talked about, signed a 6-year contract extension today through 2031. So it's interesting that I mean, I read that and I'm like, you guys are really putting a lot of faith in this guy because I mean, I like Venables. I like what he did with Clemson. But I don't know if he can match the stuff at Oklahoma that he's done at Clemson. But maybe I'm wrong on this. I don't know.
Look at their defense last year was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And I think
that's true too.
John Mateer's hand is the biggest topic in Norman, Oklahoma.
What's going on with that? Give us the latest.
Well, I mean, is it healed up enough? Remember he played last year and blood was coming out of his hand. I think he set himself back because it's hard for him. It's just, I mean, I admire his toughness and grit, but Brent Venables, when he was at Clemson, look, when Clemson lost, Brent Venables, after being there 10 years, not the same program.
No.
Then they lost their offensive guy.
No.
Was it Elliott that went to Virginia? Tony Elliott?
Yes.
Okay. See,
Tony, what was his name? I knew you were talking about.
He went to Virginia. Okay, so they're not the same program. Now, Clemson, I'm concerned. You're bringing in Chad Morris. Oh, my God. When he was there 11, 12, 13, and 14, they won like 41 games. They got it going again. But what I've seen out of Chad Morris lately at Arkansas, and Auburn that 1 year, 2020, that's when the whole staff got fired. Is he the modern day Kurt Roper?
Oh my gosh! Don't even go there.
Well,
don't even go there. I mean, and of course, Kurt Roper used to be the offensive coordinator at Florida back when I think Will Muschamp was the head coach. I could be wrong on that. That was one of the most controversial hires you ever want to meet. But I mean, that is just crazy.
Remember Scott Leffler? Scott Leffler.
Yeah.
All right, 2012, Gene Chizik goes and hires Brian Van Gorder, who had left Georgia after the 04 season, went to the NFL 7 years, failed to pay attention to all the changes in college offenses, and comes back as Auburn's DC in 2012. And then, my God, you had Scott Leffler, who had been at Detroit as their offensive coordinator when they went 0-16. Guys like that should be banned from coaching for 5 years, or anywhere near an elementary school. I mean, go away. Kurt Roper, if they ever do a sequel to The Grim Reaper, he's that guy standing in the doorway with a sickle going, ah. I mean, he comes in to preside over the death of a coaching staff.
What's he doing now?
I don't know. He might be a nice guy. I don't know him, but just look at it. He coached more games than I have, but how many times do you have to go to a restaurant and eat a bad meal to decide it's not a good restaurant? Usually it's once, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. It's amazing. Can you stick around?
Yeah.
All right, let me take a drink here. Because I want to do something here right now, and I'll get back to you in just a second. Let me do this right here. Sorry, hang on. I get it mixed up here. All right, well, we will get back to more with Rob Brown here in just a minute. But you know what? Let's turn our attention to the National Football League. And preseason games are going on right now. Of course, Houston is taking on the Raiders tonight on ESPN, 17-0 in the second quarter. What is that? Wow, first quarter, 3 minutes to go. Wow, what a game. But anyways, preseason game this weekend. Bucs will be playing at home against the Kansas City Chiefs on Saturday night. For the Buccaneers, look for them to be playing some of the starters, including Baker Mayfield, among other players. Ibuka is not going to play because of an injury. Do not expect Vita Vea to play. Now, the reason why we bring up Vita Vea is because yesterday afternoon, that he was a, quote, hold-in. Well, now he's a player because they've agreed on a $30 million extension for the 27-28 season. The way it boils down to is this: he's getting $24 million this year and $24 million the following year. So they have him signed up for another 2-3 years. Now the focus of attention becomes Baker Mayfield. Rob, as we bring you back into this conversation, we're going to switch it to National Football League. One of the things that I become concerned with is, the Bucs not coming to a deal with Baker Mayfield this soon, and now Baker supposedly has cut off negotiations. What's your take on the Baker Mayfield situation?
I just think he's a good player, but he's one of these guys, every year you're waiting for him to have that great year. Think about, he played at Oklahoma in Lincoln Riley's system. Kyler Murray played in that system, okay? A lot of quarterbacks did. They put up big numbers, but, they win the Heisman. What do they win? They're system quarterbacks. We're putting out just a very subpar product at quarterback now from the colleges. What's happened, the shotgun, hurry up, no huddle, it's cute and it's all, splits and giggles in college, but it doesn't prepare you for life in the NFL. Okay? A guy like Patrick Mahomes overcame all that. But there's no Peyton Manning. There's no Eli Manning out there now. Think about the big guy at Buffalo. Okay, Josh Allen. He's 6'7", a beast of a guy, but he can throw it 70 yards. Baker Mayfield's going to just keep bouncing around. He's just a taller version of Johnny Manziel. That's what he is. He's a soap opera. He's a lot of drama.
Whoa. Yeah, but he's also a winner too. Since Baker Mayfield has been here, he's taken the Buccaneers to the playoffs a couple of years. Missed the playoffs last year, but Baker is one of those. He's one of these guys that brings his lunchbox to work. You know what we're talking about. He's one of these type of gritty quarterbacks that he let's and to be fair to Baker, When he concentrates on football, that's all he wants to talk about.
Yeah.
He even said it when he was doing his press conference at the beginning of the year, and no agreement had been reached. He kind of criticized the team, but I think that was part of the plan that he had to do that and I say that because, I mean, you could see him a few days later shaking hands with Jason Light, laughing and talking with Todd Bowles and everything, and it's like, this is part of what they have to do. But I mean, for Baker, I mean, I don't know if I think he's worth the money. I think Baker's worth the money. I don't think there's anybody that's better out there right now that as a quote free agent. Okay, I'm not trying to compare to Josh Allen, but yeah, you know what I'm saying here.
Yeah.
And I think that for Baker, he has said, I'm all in on football 100%. I truly believe that they should go ahead and sign Vita Vea to a contract, which they did yesterday. Okay, $24 million this year, $24 million next year. And it's like, how does Baker feel about that? But if you listen to his press conference, it's like, yeah, go ahead and get him signed. And, I'll just play football and wait till the end of the year.
Well, consider what else is out there at the quarterback position across the NFL. And everybody has one backup. There's only 64. There's 32 starters. He's about as good as you can expect. We have just watered the quarterback position down. It's not what it once was. And dual threat quarterback.
But when you say watered the quarterback position now, what do you mean by that?
Well, hurry up, no huddle, spread offenses, not lining up under center. You're going to start seeing in college, mark it down, a return to quarterbacks under center more of an emphasis.
Yeah, I believe that.
Offensive line play is going to get more of an emphasis. It's going to be prioritized because it's awful now. Name me. We used to could name the All-American lineman, the offensive line. Now you can't even name your offensive line because these guys are coming and going like, every year. It takes a couple of years minimum to build a strong, bonded, cohesive offensive line. It's hard. And then you got it. Nothing surprises me anymore. But I do think, look, Baker Mayfield's a good quarterback. Forget that he was ever at Cleveland. But it's just very difficult in today's world to find a Peyton Manning. You got Josh Allen. Patrick Mahomes, he'll run his course. The Chiefs are already starting to falter. They're not the same team they were 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And you start looking around, the quarterback, Dak Prescott, God, I mean, what's he won? Yet he's like got this monster contract. That's the NFL.
Well, Lamar Jackson. Look at Lamar Jackson in the humongous contract that he has signed, and everybody and they're willing to sign hit quarterbacks. When has Lamar Jackson won you a Super Bowl?
No, he hasn't.
When's the last time Lamar Jackson took you guys to the playoffs? You sit here and you let John Harbaugh go, which I think for Harbaugh maybe was. I think Harbaugh for him. I think him stepping down. I think was a good decision because I think he knew he's run his course.
Yeah.
And it's Pat Hamlin. Wait a minute. It's Pat Hamlin says, "What about Tua?
Yeah.
What about Tua?"
He's had so many concussions.
I'm not that impressed with him.
No,
I'm not that impressed. I don't know why Miami even signed him to the contract that they signed him for. He looked great in college. Yes, he did, but he comes to the pros and he looks like the animal trying to learn how to cook. Just doesn't happen. I'm sorry.
I mean, Animal, you're making a lot of really good points. And
Am I right? Am I wrong?
You're right. You're right. And Tua is one of these guys. It's like you have this girlfriend and she wants you to do all this stuff and you really don't want to, but you say you want to keep dating. She goes, "You just like the idea of me." but you're not really into me. Well, with these quarterbacks like Tua, this is what he could be. But he hasn't gotten there yet. He's also gotten hit a lot. He's had so many concussions. And that part
I want my cousin Pat, if he's watching still, to comment, if he can, how many times Tua got concussed during his time with the Miami Dolphins. I know of at least 2.
Yeah.
But maybe there was a third one that he got a concussion and got knocked out of a game. I mean, he's quote injury prone. That's a correct probably word to use. Injury prone.
Yeah.
So
he is.
For a guy like Tua for Atlanta to go to the Falcons, I mean, I don't know why Atlanta saw. Whoa, hang on just a second. Okay.
So you're telling me Tua's getting out of football?
No. He padded comment says he's had at least 4. So thanks for that. No. I don't think that Tua is ready to get out of football.
You said he's going to Atlanta. He's going to the Falcons. Yeah, he's getting out of football. That they will break your heart. You know what Ben Troop says? He goes, Rob, I'm from Swainsboro, Georgia. I've been a Falcons fan all my life. He goes, and when I die, I want 6 Atlanta Falcon football players to be my pallbearers so they can let me down one last time. Our oldest daughter went to Alabama. She's still a good person, lives in Atlanta. And the Falcons, I've been following the Falcons since I was a kid, since they drafted Pat Sullivan from Auburn. They have broken my heart so many times. When they were up over the Patriots 28-3 and lost, I was like, I didn't think that was possible.
And you go back and you bring up another great point. I'll tell you a great. Hey, you want to talk about comebacks?
Yes.
You want to talk about comebacks? I'm going to tell you a great comeback story. Okay, one season I went down to I was living in Tampa at the time, and I decided to take a 4-day vacation, go down to Miami, visit my cousin Tony and Carlos and Pat's wife Delina and my cousins and all.
Yeah.
So I was going to go down there also because the Bucs were playing the Miami Dolphins. Okay. Now here's the deal: the Bucs come out and we play a great game. We play a great 3 quarters worth of football. Then we get into the fourth quarter, and everything just fell apart. We were up 28-3. Miami ties it. Marino has the ball with like a minute and a half left. He tears up the defense, and at the end of the game, Miami kicks a game-winning field goal and beats my Buccaneers 31-28. Believe me, I know what the Atlanta Falcons were feeling in that Super Bowl. Man.
Joe, do you remember 79? I was a kid. The Bucs, John McKay was the coach. Is that the year they went 0-14 or something like that?
No, 76.
No. 79, they were pretty good because they had a kicker. I loved him. From Dublin, Ireland, went to St. Bernard's Abbey in Coleman, Alabama, and Auburn's football coach at the time, Shug Jordan, recruited him to come to Auburn. He was a field goal kicker, Neil O'Donoghue.
Remember
him?
I remember. Yes, I do.
Woo!
Yes, I do. I mean, you talk about some blast from the past, man.
Hey,
I
remember watching the Bucs in 79. They were so cool. John McKay, and there was Bass. Had he been he was Southern Cal's coach. He won several national titles at Southern Cal.
Yeah.
Look, you know what? Gene Deckerhoff, voice of the Florida State Seminoles.
And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
He would do Florida State games on Saturday, Tampa Bay on Sunday. Now, I think he's still doing Tampa Bay games on Sundays.
No, he's not.
Oh, he's fully retired.
No. Gene's fully retired. We have a new play-by-play guy by the name of Tony Castriano. Castriani.
Yeah.
I forget where he's from, but I've heard him on the radio call the game last week. Did an excellent job, and it's like you've got to get used to the new sound. Just like when the Gators got Mick Hubert decided to step down,
Yeah.
and then what's his name?
Sean Kelly.
Sean Kelly stepped
And,
in.
and the best color man
was
in
a
college
great guy.
football, Shane Matthews.
You believe he's the best color?
I think
no,
he's-
I think Shane's great. No,
I think Shane's a really, really, really outstanding color man. He's 3
I
or 4
think-
plays ahead.
I think I'm going to tell you something here. Shane Matthews is such a whiz at what he
Love it.
does. I am not surprised. That I'm just surprised that the Gators have not looked to him to be a head coach or be an offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
You know, because I think he has the mind for it. You know.
Oh,
Maybe
Shane-
I'm wrong. But
I've had Shane on the show 7 times probably. He is so good. And you listen to him on the radio with Sean Kelly, he's 3 or 4 plays ahead. You know where that came from? Obviously, his dad was the high school coach, but Steve Spurrier. Steve Spurrier, you know who else? Jim Tunney went on our show a few times, like probably 6 times. He passed away a year and a half ago. He was regarded as the dean of NFL referees. And Jim Tunney said, Tom Landry, you thought he was this calm, laid-back man wearing a suit with a hat and a fedora, you know? He said, no, that man, his mind was 3 or 4 plays ahead, kind of a precursor to Steve Spurrier from Johnson City. Look, you know it when you see it. Shane's got it as the color analyst. But Gene Deckerhoff was so good. He go, Florida State Seminoles, Chief Osceola coming out on Renegade. This crowd of Seminoles and Gators rising to their feet. I mean, God, he has greatest voice. And you know who else? I mean, you're right about Mick Hubert. Was so good. Oh my!
Mick was
his
fan.
His signature.
My.
Oh my! Gators.
And
Corey's got a touchdown. That God.
Sean is trying to create his own legacy in his own way.
He will. I think Sean is fantastic. I don't think they've dropped off at any point in time. I'm going to Columbia. I'm going to Columbia in for Como.
the October game. Como, yes. I'm going to
How
that
far
game.
is that for you?
About 350, 400 miles, maybe more. About 4 hours.
Yeah,
ride, something like that.
Yeah, because when we go to when we hunted in Mount Air south of Des Moines, it was like right 35 minutes below Des Moines. We went to Des Moines a few times, and the Raccoon and the Des Moines River. One of the cleanest cities, along with Indianapolis and Circle Center Square. But Des Moines is an awesome town. It is so clean. It's cool. The people are they're saintly. And we would drive across, I-70 to Kansas City, St. Joe, Independence, go north on I-29. That's I-29. And you go up to Sioux Falls. Of course, you go to Council Bluffs and Omaha. Going up there to Sioux City, Iowa, Sioux City, Nebraska, Sioux City, South Dakota. Joe, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, there was a Gateway computer plant right there in Sioux City, right on the Iowa, South Dakota, Nebraska border. And the parking lot 24/7 would be crammed full. And every year subsequently, it became only a handful of cars. And we would stop at my favorite places in the Midwest are Taco Bueno, Taco John's. Taco John's, really, really good. But man, those people up there watch SEC football. They love it.
Oh yeah. You would see. We have a farmers market here in Des Moines, and by the way, the Raccoon River. I'm like 5 miles away from there, from where I live.
Beautiful river.
So, we have a farmers market every Saturday here, and it's amazing because you'll walk around and you actually see some fans dressed in Gator gear. I'm like, yeah, baby, I love it.
The Florida's a national brand. when we started going up there in 97 and 98, our guide, Jake, in Mount Air, Iowa, just below Des Moines, said he knew all about SEC football. He said, we watch it on the sports channel, tape delayed. You know what else is wild? A lot of guys I've worked with up in Boston, worked for Eaton Vance and some of the different money managers, the mutual fund companies, John Hancock. They grew up in New England, okay, Joe? In Boston, in these, neighborhoods, the Greeks and Italian neighborhoods. And they grew up watching on New England Sports Channel tape delayed broadcasts of SEC football. Al Barbaro, my friend, grew up in Boston, okay? His neighborhood guys with like Joey Bag of Donuts, Joey Feliciano, Joey Bromboli. He's a Tennessee fan. Grew up pulling for the Vols since he was a kid. Comes down here, marries a girl from Prattville, Alabama, and now is a season ticket holder in Tuscaloosa. I mean, from Boston, you think college football doesn't connect people? You're crazy.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I know. That's what it's all about. While you were talking, I was just skimming through to see if there's any late breaking news that we can bring to people. You all know by now, Iowa State's Matt Campbell went to Penn State to take over that program. I did not know that Rocco Beck went with him. I thought Beck was going to stay at Iowa State, but apparently he's at Penn State now. So yeah, so that's gonna be something interesting to watch. All right, next week. Next week. Next week it kind of gets underway. We finally are going to have some action this Saturday.
Point spreads.
Discuss the games coming up. Okay, we'll leave you to that aspect of it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Bucs game against the Chiefs and what to look forward to in the final preseason game. Any other news that breaks around college and professional football. I want to thank my good friend Rob Brown for joining me. My people chatting like Delina and Pat Hanlon. Thank you so much as well. We'll be back next week, this same time, this same place. And as I always like to say, if you're not a Gator, you're primed to be Gator bait. Rob, thank you so much for joining me. Hey, I will see you next week, sir.
I love being on your show.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Hang on. Have you heard my new intro?
No, I have not.
You haven't heard the new intro, have you? Hang on a minute. Let me pull this up and let me play just a few minutes. Let me let you hear just a few seconds of it.
All right.
Just listen to this.
Gators play, go Gators in all kinds of weather. We all stick together.
I like that.
All right, listen to this.
We are the boys from old Florida, FLORIDA, where the girls are the fairest, the boys are the squarest, of any old state down our way. Hey! We are all strong for Florida, down where the old Gators play. Go Gators! In all kinds of weather, we'll all stick together for FLORIDA. That's straight from
Okay, I like that. That's good. That's my new intro to the new show. That is a group called Third Row Brand, and what these guys do, they do songs like this, like for the Gators, Alabama. Check them out on YouTube because they do songs for a lot of these college teams all across the country. They are very good at what they do. So
I love coming on here and people share this link, like it, follow it. I mean, this is a lot.
Please do.
It's all ball, man. It's all ball.
There you go. And that's what it's all about. Thank you very much for joining me. We will catch you
next Thursday. Thank you for having me. I'm ready to go.
Hang on. I can't get my mouse to come over here. There you go. Enjoy. Okay. And it's oh my God. And Pat says, enjoy it, Joe. Watch out for the U of M.
Yeah, there you go.
He's a diehard Miami Hurricane. So, hey, listen, thank you so much. You got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. We'll catch you all next Thursday night. Until then, go Gators and go whatever. So you take care, Rob. Thank you.
Love being on with you. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Rob Brown of SEC Sports Insider, Sports Sidelines, I should say. Thanks so much for joining me. We'll be back next week. Until then, have a great day and go.
Thank you for watching 4th and Fulford. Be sure to follow on Facebook, X, YouTube, and even Instagram. Every week at this time.